consultation.
Okay. Some commentators and those involved in the rail industry have said there could be unintended consequences of the legislation, such as the Chief Exec of the Rail Safety Standards Board, Mark Phillips, who said suggests there'd be a risk of much higher levels of sickness absence because people don't want to be seen to be breaking the strikes that their colleagues are involved with, and do you fear that or any other unintended consequences?
I think from a safety perspective, and obviously that's the consequence that has primacy. We apply exactly the same validation and the same risk assessments to when we operate during industrial action to what we do when we operate normally, and the railway's got an embedded safety culture, which of course we seek to improve, but our record, when you compare us against other European railways, is actually excellent, and we apply that regardless of what the day of operation is. So I can't see from a safety perspective that there would be a direct impact as a result of it. We wouldn't approach it.
Sorry, I mean he was one of the quotes, but it was about more of the unintended consequences of higher sickness rates as a result of the way it could work with requiring people to go in.
And I think that's why it's really important, as Jamie's talked about, for us to be clear about the legislation, to make sure that there is flexibility within the legislation, but also it's very positive that we're here today talking about it, to give information from the industry about how, what the potential implications, operational and for passengers, are of the legislation.
I think as Tom said, we talked about flexibility and the importance of that. Again, to achieve the government's aspirations here, you would need to consider things such as the sickness point, which you directly mentioned, in that if there was to be that unintended consequence of higher sickness, then the flexibility point is that in order to deliver a minimum service level, you might have to be issuing work notices to a higher percentage of employees in order to guarantee to be able to deliver the minimum service level. So that is exactly one of the implications that does need to be thought about. And if this government legislation is to come forward, that's a specific example of the flexibility point.
If I can just add, I think what's really important is that from a passenger perspective, what passengers want is certainty. What we've found on cross-country, and this will be the same for lots of operators, is that the passengers are concerned about whether there is or is not going to be a strike in the weeks and months ahead, and as a result they will choose not to travel by train, even don't make that journey, or drive as a result of the potential for industrial action. So what's really important is that passengers have a level of certainty that of what might operate and what will operate on days, not just in the week or 2 weeks ahead, but also in the weeks and months ahead, particularly for longer distance operators.
Yeah, okay. And finally, we've heard from